Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network. Today we're going to be looking at the Game Boy Advance NOS titles and going over what games I feel should be added to the service. I had a lot of fun doing this for the GameCube, and I think I'm going to hit most of the consoles. I don't know if I'll hit NES. They have most of the games, and I think most of the games that could be chosen would just not really be plausible. Granted, one of those games would be DuckTales, and that is Capcom, but it's also Disney, so that becomes a headache. But I still feel there's a lot of games for the Game Boy Advance that can come. And it seems like the NES and SNES, we were kind of just throwing everything almost instantaneously. And the GBA and other systems were being drip fed the games, which is fine, honestly. Just when you put them side by side to the older ones, it can be painful waiting experience. Nintendo wants to prolong announcements to keep them coming for years to come, and I understand that. But the GBA has such a rich library of games that to this day, they are part of some rich memories for myself. So grab your Game Boy Advance SP because it has that backlighting, which is so much better than the original. This is my top 10 games I feel should be brought to the Game Boy Advance NSO. Number 10, Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge. We got the Battle Network Legacy Collection, which is great. I love those games. Made a video about it long before it even came out, and just hope the Legacy Collection somehow revive Mega Man. I mean, all signs are pointing to no, but a man can dream. But one thing the Legacy Collections haven't done is include side games. I really want to play some Mega Man Soccer, and for the GBA, I want to play Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge. And I know this game is not always held in the highest regard in the community. It's not super deep, the main Battle Network games are so much better, but this is a lot of fun. It's more of a turn-based choose a chip than fight. Basic enough, but you got the chance to play as other NetNavis, and that is where it shines for me. Yes, eventually Battle Network 5 let you do that with Liberation missions, which I do love, but this game came out in 2003, so it owned that highlight for a few years. I mean, you had Mega Man, Roll, Gutsman, Protoman, and some new characters like Turbo Man and Ring, and you could also unlock Bass. In general, I think the Mega Man side games need a little bit more love, and hope to see something like this on the NSO. Number 9, Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Banjo-Kazooie fan. I did a whole Let's Play for the original, freaked over their inclusion in Smash Ultimate, and so much more. And I had high hopes for their future. Moving on to this game, Grunty's Revenge came out in 2003, 1 year after Microsoft bought out Rare. But since Microsoft didn't have a handheld, they were okay with releasing some of the games that were already in development, and even some in the future. The story takes place between the original and Tooie and involves time travel, where Grunty finds a way to go back in time to prevent Banjo-Kazooie from ever meeting her plans wouldn't have been prevented in the previous game. I feel there is a less convoluted way to do this, but you know, the plot's got a plot, right? This game provided a top-down view to give a larger scale of the game, and although it isn't as fleshed out as the N64 counterparts, it is still what I would expect from a GBA game of the series. With Nintendo and Microsoft's relation as it is, I can see this one happening easily. Number 8. Pokemon games. Gonna prepare for the comments about Pokemon being so low, but really, even adding them was questionable for myself. I love Pokemon, but I don't see them on the NSO. But I know people would flip. I can see Pokemon doing a different sort of service with their games to allow connection through bank. It makes the most sense. But beyond that, there were other games beyond the main lines. In particular, Pokemon Pinball. I put so many hours into Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. You can catch Pokemon with a pinball, and that becomes a Pokeball. It sounds lamer than it should be, but I promise you it's not. You had many boss-type battles to capture more, and a Pokédex complete. The replayability is huge on this, and I believe this could give players a lot for the service. Number 7. Jurassic Park 3 Park Builder. Gonna prepare for more nasty comments that this not only exists on my list, but it's above Pokemon. And I'll be the first to admit this is 100% nostalgia. It's not a secret that I love me some Jurassic Park. The original being my all-time favorite movie, and then, well, I don't have the time or energy at the moment to go over my feelings of the movies as they have come out one by one, and I made a whole video over Fallen Kingdom, almost an hour long. Go check it out if you want to hear that rant. But before Jurassic Park Evolution, we got Park Builder for the GBA. It's a very simple park builder game, but it's a ton of fun. It has over 100 different dinosaurs to create from their DNA. I ain't calling it this, but it's a fun time waster, honestly, and it's enjoyable to create a functioning Jurassic Park. Or let the raptors out for some chaos. Dealer's choice. Number 6. The Sonic Advance Trilogy. Let me get something out of the way first. I have never really been into or even good at 2D Sonic games, other than the Advance Trilogy. Mostly, I am more of an exploration type of gamer, which means I really like the adventure style types of games, and the fast-paced momentum game style is just not my speed. No pun intended. And yes, there are speed and boost type stages in 3D games, but I've adapted to them way better than I ever have for the 2D ones. I really liked Mania. I despise Superstar, but as I said, the Advance Trilogy was a ton of fun back in the day. They used the 3D models and pixelated them. This was before classic Sonic was a thing, and being a fan of the adventure games, I really love this art style. The games, although fast-paced, I feel balanced it a lot better than others, and the buddy system in 3 is a ton of fun. And then you find the combo you like and you stick with it. Although the amount of Sonic games are super limited on NSO, Sonic 2 on the Genesis app basically, I don't see this being out of the realm of possibility. The Game Boy app has the 5 Mega Man games from Capcom, so couldn't this just as easily happen? Number 5, Mario Golf Advance Tour. Look, more recent Mario sporting outings have been good at best, and congratulations, you did the bare minimum, Nintendo. But earlier outings were something special, and Advance Tour is among one of the best. It gives the golfing mechanics a bit more depth, some fun RPG elements, and it's not too crazy where it's hard to dive into. I truly wish I had more to say, but it's a ton of fun and deserves to be on the system for everyone to try out. Number 4. Tales of Phantasia. Now, this is a port of the original Tales of Phantasia from the SNES. This is in fact the first Tales game. But why bring the GBA instead of SNES? Well, it's fully localized already, so the work is a lot easier. I'm all about helping people out. But if you ever played the mini Tales games like Symphonia, Vesperia, Graces, to name a few, then it's just that, but on a 2D field, which in itself is pretty interesting to battle on. I know they have ported and remade this game a bunch over the years, but I feel safe saying it is an easy win for Nintendo. Quite a few Tales games are already on the Switch alone, and hopefully Switch 2 gets more. I'd love the chance to play Arise. These are great action RPGs, and the original, although more basic than the rest, is a ton of fun, and these games have some great writing, characterizations, and a story that pulls you in. I would recommend this or any Tales game to anyone. Number 3, Mother 3. As I said that out loud, I didn't realize how weird that was gonna flow together, but hey, I'm gonna keep it. Let's start this with, I have never been a Mother 3 beggar, and I never will. That being said, it is seriously about time. The Japanese OS has it, and can you imagine how huge it would be that Mother 3 was brought over for the service? Fully translated, this could easily be the one more thing in a direct. Imagine if they brought Reggie back, the internet would go insane. We might break it again. And I would love the chance to play it. Legitimately at least. There's plenty of ways to play it, but I'm all about that legitimate play style. But even at number 3, I don't see it happening. I think it should happen, but I foresee some sort of HD, 2D, 3D recreation happening before that. And even then, I'm not going to hold my breath. The truly funny thing about the Mother Earthbound series is I don't know if it would truly sell well here in the States. I think fine, but not where Nintendo wants them to be. It's a shame. They are unique, highly story-driven games. I honestly don't recall the marketing for Earthbound back in the SNES days, but from what I found, the 90s were really weird. No matter how they release it, I think it's about time we get Mother 3 in the US though. Number 2, the Donkey Kong Country GBA ports. I love me some DK. The original Donkey Kong trilogy is a blast and I revisit them all the time. But for some reason, I never grabbed the GBA ports of the games. Could have been a money thing, could have been other games took higher priority, or heck, it could have been the fact that I had the SNES games and could easily play them. Regardless, the GBA ports are worth coming over. They give some new cutscenes, minigames, some fun cameos, and even add something like in Diddy's Conquest, you get a brand new boss. With the Land trilogy on the Game Boy, I can't imagine this not getting the same treatment. But number 1 might be a harder sell, but it's still a series of games that I really feel should hit the NSO system. And the number 1 game, or trilogy of games I want to come to the Game Boy Advance NSO, Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku Trilogy. I don't know if I've actually expressed this, but I love Dragon Ball Z. One of my first videos, I reviewed Xenoverse 2. Please, dear God, do not go see those videos. I sound horribly monotone, and the editing was special. I feel like I've grown in my craft since then. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, the Legacy of Goku games were a set of trilogies where you basically play the storyline of the Z series, the first game hitting the Saiyan through Frieza Saga, Legacy 2, which expanded the roster of playable characters from not just Goku, but Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, and Future Trunks, spanned the Android and Cell Saga, and then Legacy 3 went through the Otherworld Tournament Saga and the Kid Buu Saga, removing Piccolo and Future Trunks as playable characters, but adding Kid Trunks and Goten. They were action RPGs where you leveled up by fighting enemies, getting larger Kamehameha waves and really let you explore the Dragon Ball world, which nowadays we've gotten to do a lot, but back then it was new and exciting. They even included movie boss battles as side quests. I understand that these might not be everyone's cup of tea, but the sprite work really gives this game a lot of character and life, and although the first game is a little rough around the edges, the second one is amazing and I couldn't recommend it enough. The third one was kinda easy if I remember correctly, but Fusion was fun. I hope we get a chance to play these games in the future, although the likelihood is low, but who knows, crazier things have happened. And those are my top 10 games I feel should come to the GBA NSO. What games would you add? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe. You have no idea how much those two things help the channel, and join the conversation in the Discord. This is the Nintendo Network signing off.